And I mean, I know you all think this is bogus, or you may not yet understand it. But look, I got three bullet holes.
I got you.
I didn't. I did this for the country. Trust me, I feel great, and
Okay.
I'll do it any day.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Afro SheepDog. It's a pleasure to have you. Today's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be taking a look at a recent video that has really caught the attention of a lot of bloggers within the space, sort of just shedding light on the intricacies of life. Specifically, we're talking about the Diddy case. Um, with what's happened with Diddy, and if you've been living under a rock of some sort, um, this all was triggered by Cassie, the singer, who was dating Diddy for years and years, coming out with a lawsuit against Diddy. And 24 hours later, said lawsuit was settled out of court um, for about $30 million. dollars. And so, what that's triggered is people have started looking under as many rocks as possible to look for all the previous things that have come out about Diddy, because none of this is new. This is the one thing we have to be honest about. Um, a lot of these allegations about Diddy have been out for a very long time. I mean, for those of us that in our youth scoured the internet for conspiracy theories and whatnot and whatnot. These things have been there. It's been well known for a long time. So I think it's been very interesting that now those content are being looked at. I mean, evaluated based on the new information, or at least based on the light that everyone now sees Diddy in. So today ties us back to May of 2018, about 5 years ago, where there was a shooter or an active shooter at the Trump Doral in Miami. This is a Trump hotel. It's hosts a lot of golf tournaments. It's hosts a variety of things. It's one of the major Trump properties, and there was an active shooter there. And at the time, I think it's very interesting because at the time, the media and really everyone who looked at that story sort of wrote it off as a crazy person. I mean, that was a very interesting period. Trump's presidency was very interesting, we were very easily distracted by all of the chaos that surrounded the presidency, and so this was just attributed to being one of those moments of chaos. Looking back, though, we now see that interview or the interrogation, his statement, and it's an interesting one. And so we'll be taking a look at it today. We'll take a look at different details that he covered, and we'll see what dots we can connect. I want to give a big shout out to two channels that really put light on this. The first is a big shout out to Tisa Tells, wonderful channel. I followed her for a very long time as well. Um, she does really, really good work investigating some of these things and at least being able to articulate it in a way that people can understand. And of course, shout out to DJ Academics. He has done a great job. Also diving deep, not just into this particular portion of things, but the overall Diddy case as well. I've purposely not covered much of the Diddy case because I expected it to be something that's just going to be on running. But at this point, you know what? Let's hop in the game. I'm going to be starting with I pulled up the case file. So this is from the case file, the final report from the actual investigation. I thought it'd be fitting that we start with that. Um, and so we go right to the summary, the conclusion of things. And it's going to be this paragraph that we're looking at. So it says during his interview, Audi stated that he had planned his actions and wanted to direct attention to several political issues. He said that he dressed in black clothing and painted his face black so that he would not be seen. He stated he conducted surveillance on the property for about 2 hours. He said that he knew when the officers arrived there was going to be a shootout and he was expecting to get shot. He stated that he was going to surrender, but when the officers arrived, they were pointing guns at him, so he pointed his gun at the officers. While at the hospital, Audi yelled many spontaneous statements. He asked to speak with the FBI, Secret Service, CIA, and the media. He stated that there will be no president in 2 days, and that he's an intelligence officer. He spoke of nuclear weapons and stated that police will cease to exist. He also made the following erratic statements. Obama is Osama. Trump makes his money on gas. All the police in the street, useless, good for nothing. Nada, all of you. Laws are corrupt, and police has come to you. You be judged, die for now, and for hell, and for all eternity. People in the streets are going to shoot you. Get how to text. You're all, and I'm going to let them know to put a bullet. So I think this is very, very interesting. Again, let it be remembered that this is 2018. This is before the George Floyd incident. This is before everything that happened in 2020. So, first of all, as we watch the video, you're going to realize that if this is the summary of what he talked about, if this is what the police captured as the summary of what he talked about, a lot was left out at the time. And this is the official report, right? Secondly, when you look at some of the things he said, of course, there's a lot of it that was erratic. But when you think about what the agenda was on police through the pandemic and since then, from the defund the police, from the kind of rhetoric and the kind of energy that was directed towards the police, in a lot of ways, he predicted this. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. But let's now dive into the actual interrogation. We'll see some of what happened with the shootout, and then we'll take a look at information as we go through it surrounding this. Now, before we dive into the video, I figured it'd be helpful for us to get a good understanding of who this guy is and where he is now, or at least what we can find, right? So, at the time, he was 42, so now he should be about 47. He's South African, which is why you're going to see in the video that he continually references loving black people, you're my brother, etc., etc. You can tell he has that Dutch South African accent, but this is clearly someone who was raised in Africa. This is his LinkedIn, and we see he's still tied to Pegasus Minerals. And if you look in many of the articles that investigated him back then, they talked about him already being tied to them. So I don't know how accurate this is, frankly speaking. It looks like it hasn't been updated in a fair bit. The other thing that we're going to see is this right here. There's an article put out by NBC Miami, which says alleged Trump Doral gunman Jonathan Audi went from dead broke to property buying spree in a month. This is also going to tie back to some of what he talks about in the interrogation. When he speaks to settlements with Diddy, this is some of what that ties back into. He went from dead broke, and he was at a negative net worth of about 1,800, and went from that to buying 5 properties totaling about 765,000. These were distressed properties, but nonetheless, these are properties. So I thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to make sure I highlight that as we go on. It doesn't look like his LinkedIn has been updated for a long time. I wasn't able to find him on Instagram or anywhere like that. So a lot of what we're going on is stuff that's already out there that we can then use to tie back. So let's check out this video. um, this video is too serious for the clown music. I mean,
Stormy's story is bad news because it's embarrassing. That's why he's going crazy with that. It's not that he's lying to the American people. He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation, okay?
You don't have
Family.
so for quick context, there is he's talking about the Trump and Stormy Daniels situation, where, of course, we know she took him to court, those lawsuit, all of that kind of stuff. So he's saying that what Trump is actually perturbed about is that he's embarrassed about that, not whatever else.
Can I say it?
yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles. My
Good job.
yeah. They eat some rocks, which they good buddies. buddies, okay? They're gay. Both. Diddy and Ross.
Woo! All right, pause. That man went out the gate. Out the gate. That was the first. So, um, and this is something I'm going to speak to more of academics and the way he covered it. I think he was so focused on just the Diddy thing that he sometimes missed some of the connections between that. So we're going to do our best to try and catch those connections beyond the Diddy part, to some of these other areas that we should still highlight. So he said,
He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation, okay?
You don't have,
Found in the United States?
yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles. My
Just your
dog.
dog?
Yeah. Diddy and Ross, which are good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross.
and Khaled.
And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross,
Yeah.
and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter.
The
Okay.
who supporter?
Oh, Hamas. That's very, very interesting because again, remember what was how relevant was Hamas in 2018? They were very relevant. I mean, if you knew what you knew, or if you knew what you're supposed to know, they were relevant. There are players in the game, but for most Americans, they don't know about Hamas. I think you see in the academics video that even he's like, he didn't know about Hamas at the time. So I think that's very, very interesting. And we've never thought about I'm an immigrant myself. We've never thought about these folks who are immigrants who are from a lot of these different countries who gain major wealth. Do they have any ties back home? I mean, we've seen Ghazi from Empire, who's still tied to his Palestinian roots. There's nothing wrong with that. He should still be tied to his roots. I'm still tied to my Nigerian roots. But there's also other sides of that coin, as we see.
I'm not a supporter, okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and
Wow. 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 Okay, hold up for a second. Let's go back for a second. I think it's interesting the fact that he calls him by his first name. He doesn't say Diddy really much. As you see through the rest of this, he says Sean a lot more. That speaks to a personal relationship more than just a personality.
No worries.
I'm not a supporter, okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
He said 15 encounters, not cars. I know the CC.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden. How do I know this?
That's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know?
That's what we all want to know.
Whatever you call yourself.
Yeah, the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the black people.
Now, that's important. What did he say? He said, how do I know? How do I know? I know because they're part of the Boule. Well, if you know what you're supposed to know, or if you know what you know, you might have heard of them before. You see, all these organizations, they're all connected. They're all connected. They might have fancy names. They're now in the age where they want to be seen, but these are old organizations. So let's do some digging and let's see who the Boule are, shall we? So we see here that Boule, and I'll just raise it up here so you can see. So they're also known as Sigma Pi Phi, and that's right there. They're founded in 1904, and they're the oldest fraternity for African Americans. They don't have a collegiate chapter, and they're designed for professionals at mid-career or older. That should tell you something specifically. This is not some collegiate fraternity. In fact, when you look at the way the most important, I think there's about 9 of them or 7 of them, the most important Greek fraternities or whatever for black folks, the alphas, the sigmas, the alphas, the kappas, the omegas, like the dogs, like all them guys, right? If you look at that, these are the only guys that are post-college, and they are looked at as the daddy. They are looked at as the father. So every other organization, as far as the Greek fraternities, looks to them as Big Daddy. So let's find out a little bit more about them, shall we? So I found a site written by Isheka and Harrison, and this is 2020. So this is not just coming out with this whole thing. This is someone who did some digging, right? So They're founded in Philadelphia in 1904 by Dr. Henry McKee Minton. So who is he? Okay. Very good. So it's said to be founded by 6 people, Dr. Henry and 5 of his colleagues. And they're all doctors, dentists, pharmacists, so the highest echelon, right? Now, they were in secrecy till about the early 90s. And we'll see somewhere later in some of my research that they started to make a purposeful intent as far as coming out. And in fact, their charitable arm, the Boulay Foundation, was founded in 1980. So you can see that it was from the 80s and 90s down, they really started to want to come outside. So before being exposed to the general public by various individuals in the 90s and 2000s, the Boulay was on par with wide organizations like Skull and Bones. People knew they existed, but they couldn't really prove it. And if you know anything about Skull and Bones, you know who's tied to them, where they come from, and you know what passes through them. So of course, Boulay means Council of Chiefs or advisor to the kings. It's invitation only for the elites of black men. Also very interesting and very important to note, this is effectively the black version of Knights Templar, right? Of the Illuminati. What role did the Templars originally play before they devolved into what we know them as today? You have to think within these lines. And you see it right there. It's considered the father of black Greek organizations. So more and more information about them are starting to come out. And they are really blamed for a lot of the atrocities that have held back the black community. Of course, we have to look at who has benefited the most from where the black community has been, right? And so you see here, this is, again, still Steve Coakley. He's a political researcher and a speaker. He called it an illegal criminal enterprise full of black complicity in the centralization of worldwide power, the New World Order. They were the black representation in the New World Order. Most people had not heard about this. In fact, before this interview came up, most people would not have even thought about these folks again. And so Coakley accused the Boulay of being in cahoots with white power structures. And in fact, in page 28 of the first Boulay history book, it noted that he wanted to be like Skull and Bones at Yale. And these societies, they tend to make up an aristocracy in terms of deputizing 10% of the population to assure 90% never catch on. Understand what that means. They want to make about 10% on their side, and these are the folks who would then effectively police the information about them. That's the same way the Illuminati and every other of these folks work. That's the same way the Freemasons work, right? The information you have when you're first degree, second degree, third degree is completely different from what you have when you're 33rd degree and above. One's role there is to enshroud the other in secrecy by creating layers. And so you can see the role that something like hip-hop would play in establishing this sort of secrecy, right? The powers that be at hip-hop, but also in establishing control over society. How best do you do that? Through the music. Very interesting. In 1990, in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, incoming Boulay president Dr. Benjamin Major told Karen Crispy Bates that initially the organization was committed to maintaining its exclusivity. However, Major said they were shifting their focus to be more socially engaged and making a commitment to uplift the less fortunate members of their community. Until 8 or 10 years ago, remember what I said, right? In 1980, that was when their social arm started, their foundation started. If this is 1990, that's about 8 to 10 years ago. So they're using that side as their method of entry, their foundation. Same thing that all these other organizations have done. You look at the World Trade Organization, all of them. The philanthropy is the easiest way to access societies in a lot of ways, because it's hard to say no to somebody who tells you they're doing good for you, right? We don't want to appear as if we're remaining above the problems of most black people. We know we didn't get here solely by the dint of our hard work, of our own hard work. We owe a lot of people, and we have a lot to give back to our brothers and sisters. The irony of such statement. Boulay boasts some of the most notable black men throughout history among its ranks, many of whom are admired and respected for their work to attain equality for the black community. However, Coakley and others allege Dubois and members of the Boulay sabotaged other black leaders like Marcus Garvey, who were committed to the Pan-African agenda in hopes of maintaining the talented 10th. Again, think about that, right? They want to maintain being the 10th, that 10 percentile, guarding the 90. And what is Pan-African is really the rally of all the different values that we have into a singular cohesive mind thought. That would completely go against them. Let me say it first here. I am Pan-African. Very much so. The importance to steal the black professional away from Garvey because an Afrocentric organization that articulated and captured the black professional would give Whitey no safe haven in the black community. So the Boulay, the remaking of the house Negro, was necessary to build a group of Negroes who had an investment in protecting the white system as produced by Whitey, having stolen this land. This is post-Reconstruction, taking away the articulate Negro, now desiring to replace them with organized institutions to keep them away from self-improvement. That is, oh my God. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because that's crazy. That's crazy. So we go back to the video. We now have a better understanding of who the Boulay are. Let's see.
I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist. Okay, you my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay, she was just a servant, but she was she took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
Okay, I had settlement with Sean. Okay, against Donald Trump. Okay, because he used to belong to their side. You understand? He used to belong to that illuminated group that I told you about, which is an elite group of individuals which run the whole country. Basically, what I did you tell him did you explain him about the message? Or
No, please, elaborate.
On Thursday, turning to Friday, basically, I went to Donald Trump. I went through the gates. I took I jumped the fence and I took the American flag and I put it in the front desk and I blew the chandelier. Basically, what I did that for is to transmit a statement to the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of France.
Okay.
Okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying. Okay. Keep going.
So that's interesting. He says Donald used to be part of them, but he's trying to Donald used to be part of them, but he's trying to get out. He says he let Hillary off the hook, so he thought he had, he thought he was good now, He thought it was on the right side. It was going to be able to avoid them now.
It ain't like that. The CIA, and then they want to do the same thing that he did to JFK.
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They were even creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States. They want the United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda.
This is 2018. Think about the direction of this country since 2018 and where we are now.
And won the presidency, okay? He did get help from Russia. He did get help from the Saudis. He also got help from a lot of Republicans in here, which is the electoral college vote.
That might be why we didn't get any response from Trump with the Khashoggi journalist incident with Saudi Arabia. Don't you think?
And he got a lot of support from Republican people. Okay. The elections, yeah, they weren't fair, but he wanted the electoral college vote.
Right.
Is the Republican vote, basically, got him through, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get the popular vote, okay?
Right.
So basically, the interior, he made it. He's president-elect by the electoral college. So he made it. The situation is that he still hasn't kicked out the corruption from the system. He's letting them stay due to money, basically. Because they all like making money. That's why they're all billionaires, etc. So there's only there's select few that run the country, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I know you may or may not, I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati. Illuminati.
Illuminati. Okay.
Yeah, Illuminati. Okay. They've made it in dance. Basically, what it means, illuminated.
I got you.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, to the crew, and they bond that way. Okay, so they do sexual pedophilia, they do animal abuse, killing of animals.
He said, and they bond that way. They bond through the suffering that they're implementing. That bond, it's still an energy. Energy never disappears. It's just transferred from one form to the other. So even suffering, it's an energy. It's a form of energy. Something is being um, let out, and so it can be harnessed by those who know how to use that.
Sacrifices and everything in the Bohemian Grove. Okay,
Alright.
the Bohemian Grove, the bushes go there.
Now, this was also an interesting group that he mentioned, Bohemian Grove. But long story short, they're an interesting group. And so the Bohemian Grove is, yeah, it's a Sonoma County, California campground where the Bohemian Club meets annually. So the Bohemian Club is the real thing. Um, and they've been meeting for I mean, decades now. I know Alex Jones talked about this back in 2000, but they had already been meeting for decades before that. So check out this Business Insider article. It definitely delves a lot deeper into this. The Bohemian Club is almost 150 years old. Of course, it's been controversial. Roosevelt accepted an honorary membership. Herbert Hoover was active. Richard Nixon was recorded trashing the Bohemian Club on Watergate tapes. He was inducted into the club in 75, but he avoided it in 80. That's interesting. And of course, the Bushes were heavily tied to it. Like he said, the Bushes all go there. All the way down to Justice Clarence Thomas. So this and clubs like this, societies like this, really help you see that for them, it's not a red versus blue side thing, no, or white versus black. No, it's a elite versus everybody else type of thing. All right, when you think this is also going to affect AI technology and all these other things, it's elite and those who know how to harness the tools being used by the elite versus everybody else.
George C. and George, both of them are in the same agenda. Um, they cousins with the Clintons. Okay, so is Donald Trump. He's also a distant cousin. So if you see, there's a direct
I'm pretty sure I saw that connection. Somebody spoke about that. That all these guys are all from a singular bloodline.
correlation of the presence of the United States being bonded between family ties. Okay,
Gotcha.
all these family ties are not go back to the same place. The royal family in England. Okay, the family here of the Illuminati are descendants of the royal British family. Okay, they have children between themselves. Why? Because it's they.
Just to throw this out there, been slowly proven out. I was so sure I saw that thing. But yeah, the Clintons are related to Obama. Obama's are related to the Pitts, like Brad Pitt and all them folks. Um, it's it's an interesting thing. These people are they're all family members. They're all related. This is the new version of aristocracy. It's the new version of monarchy. Right? This is how it's done. Except these people are doing it with the wool over our eyes.
And they have that issue, you understand? They want like superiority of the race. They see it that way. But it really it backfires on them because it makes them simple minded. You understand? When you have sex with someone in your family, kids are not gonna come out small. You
Very
understand? They're
true.
gonna come out dumb, alright? So Donald turned his back, but he's still trying to negotiate a peaceful way out, and they have an agenda to kill him. Okay? Example, if you look at the Illuminati card games, Example, okay? You look at the game, the card game.
I'm not familiar with it, so help me understand.
It's a card game
It's a card game.
that
Okay.
tells you exactly what their agenda is.
Gotcha.
It's called mental pre-program. That means that you predispose already once you play this, your mind is already predisposed at this happening
Mm-hmm.
and you accepting it. Okay? I have a picture of Donald dead in that game.
Ah, okay.
Alright? I'm not crazy. But they also had the Twin Towers. They had everything on there.
Gotcha.
Okay, from A to Z. So it's kind of like a hidden agenda, which they try to make it open to our eyes, but we can really don't see it. We're so busy working.
It's kind of like hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
That's what we all want to know.
Puff Daddy,
Yeah,
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, he's part of what's called the Boulets. The Boulets is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay,
Ah.
I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist.
Okay.
Okay, you my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay, she was just a servant, but she was she, took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
I had settlement with Sean. Okay, and he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous.
He said, I had a settlement with Sean. I want to make sure we catch that. He said, I had a settlement with Sean. Again, he's speaking to him or speaking about him in this personalized way. He didn't say Mr. Combs. He didn't say Diddy or Puff Daddy. He said, with Sean.
They land over contracts. It's these attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes.
Okay. So who are those two? So he said, Mark Garagos, who is a very prominent lawyer. He's worked with a lot of folks. I'm gonna skip over this guy. Academics touched on each of these people. But long story short, I mean, he's represented everyone from political figures all the way down to Chris Brown in the Rihanna case, et cetera, et cetera. And Ben Mercedes was actually a former partner. He might actually still be a partner. Yep, look at it. He's still a partner there. And let's actually look at that. Yeah, there you go. So he's a partner there and also lectures at USC Law School. That's who he's talking about with regard to this thing. Now, again, none of this is my words, nor am I alleging anything. We are just investigating statements made by this individual, Jonathan Audi.
Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5.
So let's see if we can find anything on Ben Mercedes and Bad Boy. Okay, so he interned at Bad Boy. Huh. Look at it right here. That is interesting. Yeah, he was summer intern and he was assistant to Diddy from May 2002 to August 2006. Says it right there. But even prior to that, this. Yep, and then he worked with Hillary Rodham Clinton. Wow. Before he became a partner, and now he owns Los Angeles magazine. Interesting.
Okay. When I take Sean the threat of death on me, okay, I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything, okay?
All right.
I had sex with Cassie.
Wait.
And worked for Hillary Rodman.
He said something.
5, okay? When I take Sean the threat of death on me, okay?
He said, I take Sean the threat of death on me. I take Sean the threat of death on me. That sounds like he's saying that I think Sean. Let me not make assumptions.
Okay? I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything, okay?
All right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right?
Folks, we have the first mentioning of the freak offs. This is well before Cassie brought it up. This is 2018, and he's talking about being part of the freak offs. Woo! Let's go.
I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. Boom.
Holy shit. He said he had herpes, and he sued him for herpes and won. Tribe, who the other celebrity that went to the Puffy Flavor camp and is also alleged to have herpes? No. Too much a legend.
They didn't Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes, okay? And Chris.
So when he sued Diddy for the herpes, Matt Garagos and Ben Marcellus were his attorneys, is what he's saying.
They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
So I was right. He said, so going back to what he said originally, he said he had the threat of death from Sean. Again, this is all what we're getting from the video. If I'm wrong, we rewatch the video, but I'm trying to deduce what he says in the video. He says he had a threat of something from Sean, and as part of the lawsuit he had with him, he had to turn over video evidence of it to the lawyers, and they mistakenly turned it back to him so that he could possibly have that evidence.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Now, how does this lead towards Donald Trump?
Okay.
The Mercedes family, Ben Mercedes, that works with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Wow.
He dropped Mike.
Garagos was also Michael Jackson's attorney. He's been working with the upper echelon for years.
They OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him because they keep the royalties of the music.
Oh, snap. He's talking about Michael Jackson. He said he didn't OD, they OD'd.
The Mercedes. He dropped Michael and they OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him.
He dropped Michael and they OD'd him.
Because they keep the royalties of the music. Michael alone made $860 million alone last year, okay, in 2017, which keeps that royalty, the music companies. Who represents the media and entertainment in the United States? Most of them, Mercedes does. Kenny Mercedes, which is Greenman Mercedes Shire out of New York.
Wait. Kenny Marcellus. Oh, Shire. He just said something. He said it's whose child?
Okay, in 2017. Who keeps that royalty? The music companies. Who represents the media and entertainment in the United States? Most of them, alone made $860 million. Who represents the media and entertainment in the United States? Most of them, Mercedes does. Kenny Mercedes, which is Greenman Mercedes Shire out of New York. Okay, so he said Kenny Mercedes does, which is Grubman Shire Mercedes out of New York. That's that. Let's see who he is. Yeah. I mean, he's clearly tied to everybody. He's sitting down with everybody. And his son is Ben Marcellus. Wow. So what they've been doing is they've been promoting a hate agenda against Trump. So people hate him, okay, because they know he is very alpha, okay, very alpha in the sense that he likes money, he likes to make money, and he likes women, and they know they want to defame him in certain ways with Stormy, with other people, because they want him out of the government, okay? But it ain't happening because it's too smart for them. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying to, right?
Don is intelligent. We have a similar type of intelligence and overview of things. The only thing is he's not seeing that Hillary is a distant cousin of his and Obama have a different plan for him. You understand? No offense with Obama. I love each and every American, but he was part of that 9/11 agenda. He's a CIA agent, an ex-CIA agent. That's why there's so much identity issues with Obama. Who knows his real name? They say he was born in Indonesia, and he's also born in Hawaii. Nobody knows why, because he's an ex-CIA agent.
I can't call true or false on that, but as far as the identity issues, that is very true. And as far as his connections to some of the three-letter agencies, that's also been proven. So, interessante.
Basically, Osama bin Laden never existed. It was a creation of the CIA, and it was Obama in a cave talking shit and looking like an Arab. And then they bombed the Twin Towers. Okay? So my problem is,
All right, that sounded a little fucking cuckoo. So I can't speak to that. I have no clue about that. That sounded nuts, but I'm at the stage where you never know.
I'm here to expose each and single one of them to the American public for the crimes committed on September 11th, 2001, and therefore, okay?
Now tell me though, how all of that led up to Thursday night, Friday morning.
Well, I've been trying. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because otherwise I'll be sued.
Jesus Christ. So that would typically sound crazy, right? But we now know, one, that Cassie's lawsuit or settlement came with an NDA. We also know that all the bad boy former signees who signed and took their royalties with the recent deals he just did, they all came with NDAs. So the idea of Diddy putting out NDAs with his settlements, that's been proven to be normal practice for him now, right?
So I let it be, but they've been following me, and they've had Mark Garrow has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist, like if I was extorting Sean for money. It's
Diddy's first message after the Cassie thing. What was his first message after the Cassie thing? His first message after the Cassie incident. Where is this thing? You know what? Let's go this way. His first message after this is sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. This is literally the playbook.
wrong. Basically, what happened is Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay, they're gay,
Who?
both.
Diddy and Ross.
And Khaled, they're all gay.
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter.
Supporter?
Hamas.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No, right.
Hamas supporter.
All
Okay. Basically, he's Arab, Palestinian. Okay. The Ciroc agenda is basically binge drinking poured out on a yacht. They promote binge drinking and drugs.
Gotcha.
The hip hop agenda was laid out by Obama during his last presidencies purposely. That's why they had Tupac killed, because when they kill them, you gain fame. When people, your record sales go up, and then people listen to your lyrics and everything, and then you become famous. Okay, that's how they do it, all right? Tupac's still alive.
Yeah.
He's in Cuba. Basically, what happens is the following. Hip hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs law in the United States. You need to involve DEA. They move all the dope, okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened
By customs.
by DEA.
And what?
I know we keep tying these things back to different things, but how did Juice WRLD die? How was Rollo caught? It's almost as if they decided one day that the gig is up for each of these folks, right? Because they're letting them through all the time. And then something happens and they decide, you know what? Let's get them. Because for this individual to say that in 2018, that means this is general knowledge that artists are doing this. They're moving drugs through private jets. So it's not new news. So you know the TSA would have implemented something, or at least customs would have implemented something to see this?
Okay.
Inside the United States, okay? They move what's called high-grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in the bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it G but it's liquid cocaine.
Alright.
How do I know there's a conspiracy? It's liquid cocaine.
Alright.
Said he calls it what?
Alright, he calls it G it's liquid cocaine.
Alright.
How do I know there's a conspiracy against Trump? Because it's in the Illuminati card deck. He should look at it for himself.
Let me bring it back to Thursday night, Friday morning.
Sure.
I mean, how did all of this? I think I better understand what you're saying. But what I want to know is how did that prompt you? How did that make you do what you did that night?
Well, we're getting to a point that his assassination is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's an agenda they're perpetrating on the media and the news. Example, Madonna is a client of Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
He has her go on public TV and say, oh, someone should, I have thought so many times of going up and blowing up the White House.
Gotcha.
Okay, they give her that little message. That little message is Hillary's message, okay?
Mm.
Because Hillary sends it to Gary Ross, and Gary Ross gives it to Mercedes, and they give it to
Gotcha.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now
I get all of that.
you're gonna need the internet so I can show you.
The cop is not getting what's. This is the thing about it's. I can't even blame the cop because the cop is just doing his job, which is in this moment to figure out why did this guy go shooting the Trump doral. What he's not getting is that this guy didn't just go shooting, like the Trump doral was not the target, right? Getting the message out was the target. He just needed our attention.
If I show you the website, you're just gonna go like, oh fuck.
All right. Help me understand you.
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 42. I've been through all my life. I've had a great life. I've settled $4.125 million with Diddy. Okay, was he scared that I was exposed?
1.5 million.
Right now. I want to talk about you. Help me understand you. I mean, who? Obviously, we never met.
I know.
I don't know you, Madam's cat.
I know.
I'm trying to, we'll get back to the event
Hey,
in a minute.
I got like 30 years ago.
Where are you from?
I was born in South Africa.
What town? What city?
Newcastle, the Valley of a Thousand Hills. I'm from Zululand. I'm what you call a Zulu.
Okay.
I was born there. My parents were Latin descent from Argentina. They escaped the military.
So not even Dutch. His parents are Argentinian.
Argentina.
Pinochet, all that.
No, the Argentine one.
Is it?
Yeah, my Pinochet was a Chilean one, but
Chile. Okay.
I can't remember. It was like a military dictatorship. I can't remember the names.
All right. How many years did you stay in South Africa?
12 years in South Africa, and I stayed 12 years in Argentina, and then I came here to the United States, and I've been here 20 years since.
Okay. Yeah.
18 years. Actually.
Parents. So you got a mother and father?
Dad came and visited me. He died here. And mom went back at home. I think I was visiting with my sister in Europe.
Okay. What year did your father pass away?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that on you? I mean, what was
Not really.
your relationship like with your father?
Well, I suffered a little child abuse when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I believe he's not my real dad, but it's okay,
All right.
Sometimes maybe that's what he thought. I don't know.
All right. And your mother, where's your mother right now?
She's not traveling in Europe.
Okay. What's your relationship with her?
Distant, but
Okay.
Distant but nice.
All right. Well, any brothers, any sisters?
Yeah, both. Also distant but nice.
Okay.
They're in Argentina. Well, my brother's in Argentina, my sister's in Europe with my mother.
Oh, so you don't have
family in the United States? Just my dog Bubbles. My sister's
dog?
Yeah.
All right. You're not married? You're single?
I'm divorced.
You're divorced?
Yeah.
Okay.
My ex-wife is trying to one and told me she's an attorney.
She's an attorney?
Yeah.
Where she live?
In Boca Raton.
In Boca Raton? Okay.
Yeah.
Does she know anything about this? Have you talked to anybody?
Yeah, she kind of knows. But what happened was they've been tapping me so much on my phone through intelligence. I figured out how they tap their iPhones.
Okay.
And basically it's gone all the way up. And I've seen even Hillary and all this, they've been watching me. They've been watching my
Now, come back to me. We'll get back into that in just a minute. Let's just stay with your family.
He says, "Come back to me." He's trying to. I don't blame the cop though. It's tough to have a conversation like this and not think the person is cuckoo, especially without context and at the time, because the cop is trying to reel him back in, like, "Hey, don't get lost." Don't get. He's looking at him like this is like some sort of manic episode where this guy's just rambling on. But I mean, looking back, my fucking god.
Family members and everything. Sure. I'm just wondering if you talk to your ex-wife or anybody.
I thought no about what happened about this.
Yeah.
No, this was it was premeditated to give a message to the American public, a wake-up call. It's called a wake-up call. It's like when somebody rings a bell for Americans to wake up. Americans like you, like me, like all of us here.
All right. You said premeditated, so you thought about this. You thought this through.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it.
easy. That's like
help me understand.
The cop is still thinking about this in the sense of, oh, you premeditated the shooting. No, he premeditated trying to figure out how to get the message out, and this is the most extreme version of what he could do.
Say premeditated. You must have been thinking about it for a while. How long have you been thinking about doing what you did?
Well, when I say premeditated, it means that I went and did it by myself. That's all. And I didn't think about it like for a moment.
Okay.
I didn't plan it for a moment.
Okay. When you say premeditated, I thought maybe you planned it out. Like
I ran my own personal investigation, which I figured out myself that this is going on, and we still having issues of corruption at the highest place in our government.
I get that. Now, when you say your own investigation, what'd you do?
Basically, out of all the times I went and saw the attorneys, I did my research online, and I found out the whole puzzle of their organization.
Okay. All right. So you didn't tell, well, before I ask that question, so you have an ex-wife, you got a girlfriend, you got anybody that you talk to? I'm trying to understand if you got somebody that you interact with on a daily basis.
Yes, I have a good friend, a breakfast buddy. His name is Luis David Gonzalez, and we go to the gym every day. He has nothing to do with what happened Thursday. Though he's a witness, he's gotten shot at by them, and he's a witness that Ross came and threatened me at my house. Post-settlement, after we settled, Diddy sent Ross, and I asked him to go see if that was Ross and confirm his identity.
Well, that's fucking crazy. Imagine Rick Ross pulling up to your crib to threaten you on behalf of Diddy. What in the clusterfuck?
So Gonzalez, he can back up what you're saying about P. Diddy and Ross and all that? Okay, all right. And you said Gonzalez didn't know anything about what you did? You didn't talk to him before?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
He knows nothing. He knows that water from me. He's like, hey, what's up? And I told him, look, man, what's happening is he's trying to cool things down, but then the feds have been harassing him. The feds. They have a big file of me like this. The feds, because P. Diddy and Mark Garagos have been trying to set me up and lock me up as an extortionist, asking for money. It was not so. My settlement was breached, and my settlement terms is one was called peaceful enjoyment. That means that if I went to your house or I did something, you'd actually pay me the full amount back.
I get all that.
So I've been going through that since like 2012.
Okay. So. All right, and Gonzalez knows about that. You talk to him about that kind of stuff. I
talk to him alone because he's the only one that knows since the beginning.
Gotcha.
And then my ex-wife, she knows he saw the contract. She has a contract, a picture of the contract. You need to call her and ask her for a copy of the settlement agreement.
Okay, all right. Where do you live at? Where's your house? Or
really close. Unit 177, just down the road from Trump's. I want you to live close to Trump because I know they don't like being close to Trump. You understand what I'm saying? They don't like that. So that's why I went to Trump's.
Okay, all right. You got a roommate? You live alone? All right. How do you get around? You got a car?
Yeah.
So again, I think in a lot of ways the police are trying to piece together who this person is, and I don't blame them. Of course, I don't blame them at all. But more of what they're doing in this case, I think this guy had like a perception of who this guy is. Right? Do you have a way to get around? It's like, is this just some kooky person who went shooting? No, this sounds to be as somebody who has their head on straight, their life and relatively together. Has their life relatively together, but got involved with some shit like this.
Okay. Where is that Jeep right now?
Police have it in custody.
Okay. All right. All right.
Here it is. That's what's being brought.
All right. Um, do you have anybody that you can think of that you used to work with that you trust? Anybody, any former coworkers? Anybody that you would reach out to if you ever needed help at any of those jobs?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm pretty self-confident. I mean, I have my head on my shoulders and I know what I'm doing.
All right.
And I mean, I know you all think this is bogus, or you may not yet understand it. But look, I got 3 bullet holes.
I got you.
I did this for the country. Trust me, I feel great. And
Okay.
I'll do it any day. Because at least I avoid a president getting shot. And at least I avoid other dummies trying to fuck up our country. Excuse my language.
No, you're good, man.
And my people. Americans are my people.
Okay.
I have issues with people, and that's why I'm my people.
All right. Tell me. All right. Let's go back to Thursday night, Friday morning.
I mean, folks, I don't. He could have stated his intent any clearer. And again, looking back, you know, they say the easiest way to discredit a man is make him look crazy. I think this is a perfect one. And if you look at all the news coverage from it, in fact, we can quickly, not knowing you, but if you look at all the news coverage from it, that's all they did. All they did was call him crazy. There was a bunch of news articles that called him crazy, called him a variety of things, but not much actually looked into any of what he said. Since then, however, we've seen so many things play out. Again, we've touched on all these things through the course of this video. This is probably my longest video on the channel, besides the podcast, but really, I think I'm excited to put this one out primarily because this is an interesting video. This is an example of us looking back, seeing stuff that happened, but we never took it seriously, and finally being able to look at it with context. So if you enjoy the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is home, baby. We're bringing everybody back home. Let's go.